Okay, here we go. This is the rear door to well, I guess it would be called the Pizza Shack until finding a different name. All right, so entering in through the back of the kitchen. So when I got to this project, this was just an empty, basically unfinished space. There was water pipes and electrical wires just kind of hanging down, so none of the stuff that was in here, with the exception of this stove and the pizza ovens and the hood, was here, and none of it was hooked up. Nobody even knew if it worked, so we actually had to repair that and both of those. And then here's our 3-bay sink. I still have tools in here. Mop bucket, and then in this area there's going to be a broaster or a fryolator, and then here's the storage area with the shelves that I built, and there's my paint rig, there's my welder. This is actually a sandwich making table from Subway that we repaired because it keeps things cool on the inside, and then we had a custom made cutting board installed so that they can make pizzas. And then we've got a freezer, and then here's my my swanky hanging or floating shelf and the service counter, where there's going to be a custom cutting board that goes on top of this. There's the circuit breaker where I had to wire in pretty much everything from scratch. Oh yeah, here's the walk-in cooler that has the door that I made the door, and I made the hinges, because when you buy a walk-in cooler, it's supposed to come with the door, and this was a used unit. So there's that, and it's really cold in here. It's also really short, and so I have to modify the rack shelving that we're going to put in here to actually fit. Okay. This is where the sales staff will be. And then this is the sales counter, which I made and did the finish on. As a matter of fact, I did the finish last night along with the trim. The trim is actually just plywood that I stained to look like walnut. And then this is the main area that is not going to be the dining room, because they're going to put retail in here, and since it's going to be a pizza place, it's going to be basically to go only. But this used to be a place called Hillbillies, and then it was called the Biker Shack. So it was a hangout for bikers. This used to be a solid wall. We opened it up, so there's a pass-through. This is one of the entrances. You can see the nifty disguising of the air conditioning duct that we had to do. And you can kind of see there used to be windows all down this wall, which I removed to put, and if the perspective looks weird, it's because I have it in wide angle. So this is the room that I made that is all corner glass, and there's going to be a display in here at some point once he finalizes the design. And oh yeah, there's the stock for the ceiling fan that caught on fire like my first 3 days here while I was by myself. This is the bathroom that I built. Pretty typical stuff. We're actually going to keep the floor like this. We're just going to clear coat it so it keeps that mottled look. But back here, we actually put epoxy, an epoxy coating, rubberized coating on the floor. So the floor in here is really solid. And then here's the other entryway, which is filled with a bunch of retail stuff. And you can see I had to string some lights because they had these really tall windows that had slid down, so I basically had to build new sills and sashes, which is window framing. But now Gotta put the siding on the outside, but now the windows actually match the height of the other windows I installed when before they went up to the top, and it looked really kind of goofy because nothing lined up on the front of the building. Yeah, so that's the gist of it. It's got 2 big commercial air conditioning units outside, which I got running, which is funny because I'm not an HVAC technician at all, although I'm getting pretty good at it, just like I'm not an electrician, but I'm getting really good at that. And then Todd, who's not here because he is ordering the material for our next project, which is going to be to build a giant 16-foot tall steel tower and put big commercial air conditioning units on top of it on the main restaurant, which sounds like a lunatic idea, but that's what they want to do. So that's it.